Alright gang, welcome back to our Triple Threat Challenge here on Zabby. It is still July. We are doing the third episode in July. Initially at the beginning of the last episode, in case you missed the whole thing, I decided I was going to do 2, and then, I don't know, a little more than halfway through, I guess, we kind of changed our mind back to doing 3, and there was a couple of reasons for that. One, we weren't going to have enough time to get all the contracts done in July if we did 2 episodes. 2, it took us a lot longer to get the stuff that we did get done in the last episode than we anticipated. And 3, realistically, I wanted to get at least a couple of these fields in a decent spot for August. Now, August, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot as far as we can put in the ground besides maybe canola, but I'm leaning towards putting canola in one of the fields. I'm not sure which one yet, but I'm leaning towards doing that, so... which is a bit different, right? I said I wanted to do all the new stuff, and I still do, but there's very little for the rest of this crop calendar season that we can do that we haven't already done, right? I'd like to do lentil and you know, what's the other one at? What's the other one? Why am I blanking on the other one? Lentil and millet. I'd like to do those, but those periods of time have already passed, right? We're going to have to wait until the beginning of the next crop calendar season. So, you know, I'm kind of tempted to put some canola in one of them just so it'll make us some money when the time does come around for us to harvest that. And, you know, we talked about already, which I plowed part of this up that I didn't really necessarily need to, but you get the point. The point here is, you know, we're going to try to expand this field a bit, right? We talked about that before, and then that way we actually know what we're really dealing with when the time comes. For us to actually expand the yard even more, right? We know what we're dealing with then. So, let's go ahead and get started on doing that expansion right now. We're going to try to keep this as straight on that line as we can. I'm going to go relatively slow here just to make sure. I'm probably not going to get it perfect. It's probably going to mess up a bit, but as long as we get it pretty close, again, I'm going to be happy with that. Now, this is going to get a little close here to our shed, right, for backing stuff up, but we'll just have to be a little bit slower and a little more methodical when we go about backing things in there. So I think that's going to be about the extent of where the extension is going to be. Now, again, this is not a huge expansion. We are going to remove a little bit of the actual land itself up there too. We'll go through that here in just a second, but yeah. Yep, perfect. See that? That lines up perfectly with that line of that field there. And yeah, pretty much lines up perfectly with that one too. Maybe it's a little bit off, but it's pretty close, so we'll take it. So I've got the lines and everything on right now. They're going to be all screwed up for a little bit, but eventually it'll fix itself, so it's not a huge deal there. Okay, so that is done. So let's go into here. Let's get the paint out, and let's paint over a little bit of this. I'm just going to basically take grass from this line and kind of go straight, if I can do it. There's some grass. Let's go with this sizing here. Again, just very slow about doing this. I'm trying my best not to screw it up. I don't want to have to come back and replow over a section if I can help it. That looks pretty good. That also tells us that I was a little off and I need to bring this out just a little bit more here. And then we'll be in a good spot. So let's just paint this up here really quick, though. The rest of this field that was here. And so that way the computer, the GPS, whatever, knows that it's not supposed to be part of this field anymore. We are going to have to reset the lines. They're still off that, you know, on that a different path than they're actually supposed to be on. Okay, keep it steady there, Z. I'm on console, but most of you know that. But in case you didn't, I am on console, so it is, you know, a little more difficult. I can't be as precise as you can be on PC. I know a lot of the times people say, you know, bring up the mini map here and use the you know, the longitude, latitudes there at the bottom, and realistically, you can do that a lot easier on PC than you can with a controller. Not a complaint. I'm happy I'm on console, but just giving you the reason. All right, there we go. Now, if we turn around and look at that, it should be a relatively straight line, and it pretty much is. Again, we're not really looking for perfection here. As long as it's close, we're going to say that that's a win for us. So we'll reset it here. There you go. The lines have been reset as well. And there we go. Perfect. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That is what we wanted to see. Now, we'll work on painting all that area up there and a little bit later on. I'm not too concerned about doing that right now. Right now, I want to focus on getting the rest of this field plowed up. Now, I think for the time being, we kind of talked about in the last episode that, you know, I watched part of, I haven't been able to finish it yet, but part of Crestu's most recent video on this series. He's let's try again. He is also doing this series, and one of the things he did with this field, which I think is pretty smart, was he kind of expanded the field. And I say expanded the field. He broke the field up into 3 separate fields. You know, a relatively decent chunked one over here on this left side that we're on right now. Well, I guess it depends on which way you're looking at. Left facing this way, and then 2 smaller ones over there on the right. Fits the equipment a lot better, so it does make a lot of sense, but I think for this certain circumstance, right now for us, I'm not going to focus on that. Maybe next season, maybe we do it, but I don't think I'm going to do it for right now. So, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Things are good, man. Things are good. I'm doing this one on a Friday night, right before I go to dinner, actually, with my wife. Her birthday was recently, so we're going to go have a birthday dinner for her, which will be nice. Just a local steakhouse near us. Nothing crazy. Not a super expensive place or anything like that. So, but still pretty good, right? Still pretty good. So, it's a very local. They use a local cut of meat as well, so it's pretty nice. Steakhouses can be very expensive depending on where you are, right? And, you know, you guys know that every once in a while, I say every once in a while, at least once a year, I go to Vegas. Normally in January around my birthday, because there's a poker tournament out there for where I play in a poker league. A lot of you know that. And where I play at, there's multiple locations around the country, and they do a big poker tournament out in Vegas in January, and it always happens to fall during my birthday week. So I normally go out there for that. And if you go out and have a steak at a steakhouse in Vegas, you know just exactly how expensive they can be. This is nowhere near that. It's a fraction of that cost. But I would argue it's nearly as good as they are out there. I'm supporting local Ohio farmers with this one. And it's a local mom-and-pop type of steakhouse nearby. So it's all wins for me. I love supporting mom-and-pop shops. It's literally what I try to support of all if I can help it. Looks like I might have to fix the lines here again. They're a little off. It's working for now, but it was a little off there on the outside edge. So we'll see how it continues on here. That's why I've got the lines on. You guys know I don't really love the lines, but that's the reason why I have them on. So anyway, yeah, hopefully you're all doing well, staying safe, all that good stuff. Today our main focus here is going to get this field plowed up. We're going to get the field over to the right of us plowed up. I'm not going to focus on the field over there in the far distance that you can't really see right now. I'm not going to focus on that field at all today. That will be for another day. I'm going to fix this. These lines are all over the place. Now somebody told me if I go down to 0, it should fix itself. So here we go. This one, we knew it was going to be a little off because it was already off. But anyway, so that's going to be kind of the focus for these 2 fields. So I want to get them both plowed up. I want to get lime put down on both of them and just get them prepped and ready to go. Now, again, if we look at our planting calendar, or our crop calendar here, there's not going to be much we can do next month. We can do the canola like I talked about, and I think I'm going to do that. And honestly, I'm leaning towards putting the canola in this field right now that we're plowing up currently, our large field. You know, canola is a high-yielding crop, and it's a high-yielding crop is maybe not the correct statement. It can be a high-yielding crop, but it's a high-producing crop of funds. You know, when you sell that canola, you tend to make a pretty decent payday off of it, right? So I kind of want to put it in there just for that alone, just to try to help with our funds, because this should be ready to harvest kind of later on in the year. So if we put canola in now, oh no, it's not. I'm wrong. Why did I think it was later on this year? What am I thinking of? I must be thinking of wheat and barley and stuff. I don't know. But either way, I'm still kind of leaning towards the canola regardless, I think. I don't know why I was thinking that. Why was I thinking that? I don't know. I was thinking of something else clearly, but I still want to do the canola regardless. Now, as far as that field over there goes, not quite sure what we'll put in there yet. Might be another straw type of, you know, crop. I don't know for sure, though. You know, I'd like to do buckwheat at some point. We haven't done that yet either, and that's another one we're going to wait till the next season, right? That's the problem, is a lot of these we have to kind of wait till next season. There's not really a whole lot I can put in now and still harvest it, you know, this side of the crop calendar. And as a matter of fact, there's very little that can be done. Maybe silage maize, but anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm not too concerned right now. Again, that's August. It's not even going to be this episode. So, but besides that, we do have 2 other contracts that we need to do today. We did one at the tail end of the last episode. It ended up being a deadwood contract. Real easy, cheap way to make some extra money. It pretty much paid for, you know, the cost that we paid for the worker, which was fantastic. That was really what I wanted to do with one of those. And then these other 2, we'll see what we come up with. There is a lot of contracts out there, and it continues. Lots of square baling contracts, but we've done that so much, and we're going to do it again next month. Next episode, I should say. I'm kind of leaning against doing that just because we're going to be doing that. This fertilizing contract sounds very promising. Maybe it's something that we lease that equipment and do it. You know, it's only a $1,000 basically, so we'd still make $7,600 off of doing that. Now, I would have to buy fertilizer. That's part of the problem, right? That's part of the problem. But it's a pretty nice option. There's a couple harvesting contracts, as we know. We can do this harvesting contract that's pretty close to us. Again, probably not. I mean, we did a lot of harvesting lately too, and it's the same type of crop, so maybe not something we specifically want to do there or not. One thing I did forget to do in the last episode, I said I was going to do it, I forgot to do it, and I know I just finished doing the edit and I just uploaded it, so I know for a fact I forgot to show you. But long story short is I'm going to now show you how much we actually made in the last episode, how much we got from our harvests, right? I didn't show that. I said I was going to do that in the silo. I didn't do it. So whoops on me. But we got 22,425 liters of spelt and then 18,244 liters of rye, which is pretty good, right? And then the triticale, we got 29,448. So it was a pretty nice payday. Well, it's going to be a nice payday. We haven't got paid for it yet, but it's going to be a pretty nice payday when the time comes to sell that, right? You know, the triticale, we're going to get somewhere in the 365 range per thousand. We're going to get about $1,000 per on the spelt, so that's going to be nice, right? That's going to be nice. It's going to be around 22,000, and then the rye, same thing, about 330. So. Nope. Get back on the proper line there, Z. Come on now. Now, one thing I thought about doing, and you know, a lot of you mentioned it too, is I thought about upgrading this plow. The problem with upgrading the plow is if we decide to go that route, okay, the only plow that really I'm considering or willing to consider is this one. We use this one a lot. We use the one we're using, and we use this one a lot. For the same width that we currently have, it's 17,000, right? If we bump it up to 9 meters, it is 19,000. 12 meters is 21,000. But you can look at the horsepower there, and it tells you how much it's going to require for us to be able to use it properly. The thing is, I do know for a fact that if you turn it around backwards, you can use the longest plow portion, the 12 meter. You can use that one. If you turn it around the plow backwards, you can use it at basically your full speed. You can go 12, 13 mile per hour, whatever it is, right? it's a little unrealistic, and I've done some unrealistic things, and I'm not saying we're not doing any unrealistic things here. We are doing auto loads, right? So we are clearly doing some unrealistic things, but for right now, I'm actually okay with the bit of a slower process of using this plow than going that approach. Perhaps once we get lots and lots and lots of fields and we got lots and lots and lots to do, and having said that, I know it's a bit contradicting to what we're doing now because we're doing 3 episodes in July, but you get what I mean. Most months that's not the case. It's just a one-off month here. You know, so because of all those reasons, I'm actually kind of okay with being on the slower approach here. Eventually, yeah, we'll probably make that upgrade, but eventually when we make that upgrade, we might have a tractor that's powerful enough to pull it the proper way anyway, right? So I'm going to keep this one for the time being. You know, really, I don't think we need the 12. I think the 9 is probably going to be more than sufficient for the size of most of the fields that we're going to be purchasing here. There are certainly going to be a few. You know, example is if we buy this one over here to the right, where that 12 meter would really come into handy. But, you know, most of the fields, I think this is going to be plenty. We're doing the biggest field we have right now, right? And we're still going at a pretty decent clip. For most of the field, we're going somewhere between 8 and 9 mile per hour, right? So, you know, I think it's fine. I do. I think it's fine. I think there are other things that we would better utilize our money towards than a plow. And we don't really have that much money to begin with here, right? So okay, let's see. What are we going to do? Contract-wise, what are we going to do? I'm kind of leaning towards spraying. I really enjoy spraying. These are quick wins for us. It's not a ton of money, though, right? I would like to have something a little bit more money than that, but there's really not. And the only things that have a lot more money is this fertilizing contract or the baling contract, which, again, I don't want to do the baling contract because we've done a lot of baling lately. I want to change it up, you know, do some different things, right? So every time you come back, it's not the exact same thing, right? So I guess we got to think that through a little bit. We have $27,000 to our name. It's not tons of money. Really could use more money. I've thought about putting some kind of like a greenhouse or something up here on the main yard area to try to help offset some, you know, incoming, you know, fees and things, right? But doing that means I also have to buy some kind of a water tank or a Bowser, whichever you want to call it. Which we can do, but that's, you know, that's more money, right? It's more money out of the pockets, and we already know that there's a couple that we have installed, but there's not much in regard to cheap ones, except for maybe this hand push one, which, yeah, no. We can go with some unrealistic ones. I could go with this liquid transport one here as well, you know, which is a push one as well, right? But, and then I've got some unrealistic capacity ones too, right? So there's some options there to choose from. It just depends on what we want to go with. But most of these, you know, they're not really cheap. I mean, they're cheap-ish, but it's still going to take up most of our money, right? So if we were to buy one, we wouldn't have very much money to get a greenhouse going, right? Once we get turned around here, we'll look at a greenhouse for a minute here. I just think it would be nice for us to be able to have something that, you know, we can make some money other parts of the time during the year besides just selling our harvests and doing contracts. Contracts are definitely helping us, but I think we need some more supplemental, you know, money that's incoming, if you will, right? We've got the eggs, which is great, but, you know, it's a slow start there on the eggs, right? We don't have a ton of chickens there, so they're not making tons of eggs for us yet. Their food is still perfectly fine, but, you know, we've got, excuse me, 25 adult chickens and then 24 baby chickens, so they just reproduced. Actually, that might be the max that our pen holds. I don't remember. How much does our pen hold now? I don't know. I don't know how much it holds. Oh, I've got to move the straw out of the way, too, by the way. It might be. It might be. I just need to go here and do it this way. It's going to be easier. Oh, yeah. Okay, they're maxed out. All right, so good. Well, the babies aren't really producing anything yet, but once they get to of age, they will start producing stuff, right? But, you know, we talked about, you know, maybe doing some kind of a greenhouse, right? There's a lot of options we can do for greenhouses. The thing is, I've done a lot of these options already. I've mentioned this many times before. If I do one, I want to do something different. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards maybe doing, you know, one of these like orchards maybe, or this small tea seedling garden, something like that might be the way we go. I think that small tea seedling makes a lot of sense for the size of our yard currently right now. So maybe that's something we look into doing today. Full transparency, I installed it because it looked interesting to me. I thought maybe I would utilize it, you know, elsewhere, and we haven't to this point. So maybe that makes sense. Maybe we incorporate that into this series. That could be some extra funds for us, right? The orchard is quite large, actually. Wow. Okay. So it's grape and olive orchard, but you know it's a little bit out of our price range, really. So this is you know, a lot more comfortable. This is a lot more comfortable for us. Now I don't know where I would put this at, to be honest with you. I have to figure that out as we move along here, but I do like it. It's a small size, so it's not going to take up a bunch of our land, and you know it gives us the opportunity to be able to add some more things to the yard area. Maybe we put it, you know, somewhere in there, right, like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out though. But yeah, I kind of like that idea. Now I do know, I don't know if you can sell the small tea seedling gardens. I don't know if you can smell them. I don't know if you can sell them outright. I know there is a production that goes with it. Let me get turned around here. We'll look and see if we can find the production. But I do know there's a production that goes along with that. So I probably need to look into that first and make sure that, well, one, we can sell those outright, and you know, two, you know, they don't require the production. Because if it requires the production, there's really no reason for us to put it down right now. It'd be just kind of a waste of money, right? So, where is it? T. I mean, I've got so much stuff installed here. It may take me a minute to find this. So let me zoom out here. I just want to make sure. Well, I don't have create fields on, so it should be fine. But mustard processing plant. Yeah, so there's going to be some other productions in here as well, and a lot of these are probably the ones that are already on the map that you have to buy if you get that specific crop, right? We talked about that for threat 1, right? I mean, you know, you could even go for one of these smaller ones too, right? I don't even know where it is. There's the palletizer, okay. We're almost to the end here. I'm going to back out. Asian takeaway. Cafe, fast food diner, ice cream parlor, juice bars, the Pizza Hut, the old Pizza Hut. I don't know where it is, gang. I don't see it, but I know there's one. I just don't know. I must have missed it when I was going down here, but yeah, I must have missed it. I'll have to look into it further, but I know there is a, well, there is some kind of a production that's supposed to go with it. I do know that. So when we get turned around here, we're going to look at one more thing, and then we'll probably jump into a time lapse and get that field done and get this field with some lime down on it. Okay, so I don't know what it would even be under. T, I don't know. It may not be under actual T. It may be under something else, right? I don't see anything about T. Okay, I guess I need to do some more research into that because I really don't know where... Yeah, I don't see anything about tea, so I don't know. I'll have to look into that more. I'll do that off camera a little later on. All right, well, you know what we got to do? We got to get the rest of that field over there plowed up, and then we've got to put some lime down on these 2 fields. And then we'll look at some contracts potentially, and then maybe putting down that tea production, or that tea greenhouse, excuse me, if I can figure out where the production is for it, because I know there is one, and make sure that it does not have to be there. But like we just looked at, right? I didn't see anything in the menu at all for any sort of tea, so we'll figure this out. All right, we're making strong progress here, and a lot of you might be saying, well, Z, are you really going to make your money back on all the lime you're putting down for that small bit of an increase? Yeah, probably not. You're probably right, probably not, but I want to get this to the highest possible value I can on both of these fields so we can actually truly see, you know, what's the highest yield I can get given what I have. Now, realistically, we probably want to get a roller soon. I hate rolling, but we probably need to get a roller, right? So we'll look into doing some rolling at some point here. Like I said, I don't know for sure if it'll be this harvest, this seeding or not, but we'll definitely look into one here soon. So we've got a little bit more left of this field to do, and then we can start doing the final 2 contracts we're going to do. I'm actually going to take a peek out here in just a second. Well, all right, we just won't even select the GPS line. That's fine, I guess. We're going to look at the contracts, though, I guess is what I was trying to get at, and we're going to see... Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be one where we go down the middle and waste a lot of lime here. This spreader, unfortunately, I cannot shrink the amount that it's being spread out, which kind of sucks. But, you know, it is what it is. Ooh, my controller batteries are low. Wonderful. That always seems to happen to me as well. Man, just things are going great. Okay, so we've got another dead wood. That dead wood is tiny. Not really going to worry about doing that. We've got these fertilizing contracts. I'd love to do this one, but again, we're going to have to buy a lot of fertilizer just to make this happen, I think. Can it be done? Yes. Maybe we should do it, though. I don't know. The spraying contracts seem a little bit more reasonable to do. Forgive me, neighbor. I'm just driving right through your field there. But we're getting a real nice teal, you know, green color, blue-green color. We got a nice little blue-green color going on these fields. So this is about as good as you can possibly get for the type that we have in the ground, right? We've got loam in here on this field, so that tealish blue-green color that you're looking for is exactly what we want. So these fields are going to be in a really, really good state to be able to give us the best possible yield. I don't know if you noticed or not in the left-hand corner, I did put the map on for a lot of you. I know a lot of you like to see that since we got precision farming on. And the left portion of that, remember, we did not really get the proper lime amount down. We have it now, so things should be a lot better for this field. We're going to need a tiny, tiny, tiny bit more of lime here. We're going to run out right when we get kind of the bottom, well, I guess more the middle of the hill. So I'm going to try not to buy a ton here, because, well, lime's not very expensive, but, you know, we've spent a decent amount of money on the lime already, right? We spent close to $1,000, I think, on the lime. Well, we spent more than $1,000, probably. I also bought gas. Oh, there went that. So that went well. Good thing I'm not going to the left. We would have been right into our field and been nothing I could do about it. It seems like those things always happen to me. I checked it before I started this recording, and it looked like there was going to be enough battery, but clearly there wasn't. But, you know, I try to utilize the battery all the way down until it dies because, well, quite frankly, it makes the batteries last longer, right? We'll just buy the whole thing. Even though I just said I wasn't going to try to buy the whole thing. We'll just buy the whole thing. It's fine. It's fine. We'll use it eventually. Matter of fact, we'll use it pretty soon. Because we're going to have the other field that still needs to get the straw picked up off of it. And we're going to have our mustard field all here needing this lime here very soon, right? So. Alright, this field's done. Both these fields are a fantastic bluish green color. It's exactly what you're looking for. It's exactly what we want. 6.750 pH value is the optimal value for loam. Okay, so those fields are prepped and ready to go. There's nothing else to do with those fields. So it's contract time. We've got to make a decision on what we're going to do for these contracts. I'm going to unload this lime here because I do think we're going to do one of those fertilizing contracts. So having that understanding, I might as well go ahead and fill this up while we're looking. I guess we might as well do this one. This one's right next to us. It's a good price, $1,978. It's not going to take as much wear and tear on our equipment either because it's so close. So let's do this one. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough fertilizer or not. It probably won't be. But we will see. I'm going to go ahead and put this back off of automatic. And we're going to make sure it's turned down as low as it can possibly be. Application rate 18. That's perfect. That's what we want. And we're going to drive right through this cornfield, evidently, which is a little weird. I would have thought we would have been killing it, but I guess not. I mean, that to me looks like it's well germinated enough that we'd be killing it, but what do I know? The JCB in the fields, man. The JCB, what was it? The Children of the Corn? The JCB of the Corn? Maybe I should call it, maybe I should call that, this episode that. The JCB of the Corn. That's pretty funny. At 18, we might be okay. We might have enough in here at 18 because we're really not putting much out there at all, right? We're putting a very, very, very small amount out, so we might be okay. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna be fine. This field looks a lot bigger than it actually is. I mean, it is a big field, don't get me wrong. It's a big field, but I just thought it went more that way than it did, like more that way. The way I'm aiming the camera now back in the distance, I thought it went that way further than it actually did. That took a real weird turn. I'm okay with it, but it took a weird turn. So I think we're going to do this, and then I think we're going to do a spraying contract. It's not going to give us the most amount of money, but you know what? It's going to pay for, like I said, the workers that we utilized in all of July. It'll pay for all of the lime that we just used up, right? So it's going to have its purpose for sure, right? For sure. There'll be more contracts next month. There'll be plenty more to do. Okay, that's done, so we'll turn that in. We didn't have to spend any money on fertilizer, which is a fantastic spot to be in. Really, truly is. I thought I was going to have to, but we didn't. Alright, anything else pop up here? Cultivating one popped up. That looks like that's pretty much it. Let me slow down here before I run into something. Okay, so this one's a lot closer to us. This one's further away, but worth a little bit more money. So $400 difference. Is that what it is, basically? Yeah. Well, here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. Let's put this back away. Let's see how much spray we have in there. If we don't have a ton of spray, maybe we go for the smaller one, just so we don't have to buy anything. Yeah, we don't have tons of spray, but, you know, we can turn it on the low setting here, too. I don't know if we actually have it on the low setting or not, or is there isn't a way to turn it off. Okay. Alright. Never mind. I knew that. Okay, so that's not a bunch of spray, right? The thing is, I don't want to buy a bunch of spray and then, you know, we only use a little bit of it and then we've wasted a bunch of this money that we just made back, right? Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so 871 liters. I'm going to buy a little bit. Reluctantly, I'm going to buy a little bit. We're going to use it at some point again for another contract, so it's not that big of a deal, but obviously right now we don't have tons of money, right? So I'm trying to be very careful. There. That's not a terrible amount. It's a lot. It's more than half the contract, I guess, but well, no, it's not. It's a little less than half the contract, but still. It's a significant amount I just purchased there, right? So we'll figure it out, but let's get there and get it done, huh? Okay, that's all done, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. There's not one time, and how many times I've used this, for forever, have I noticed that there's a little bit of a flashing light right there. See that? I've never once noticed it. I guess it's because I'm always probably at this angle, and you can't see it at this angle at all. But just there when we were driving for one angle there, it popped down, and I saw that flashing light. I've never once saw that. That's crazy. I've been using this thing for forever. That's crazy. I can't believe I never noticed that. But that contract's done, so we'll go ahead and turn that in. And yeah, I think we could have been fine without buying any herbicide. But again, that's all right. We're going to use it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Would have loved to not spend the money on it, but that's okay. All right, so let's just park this up over here. Let's turn this in. And we are done for the day, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button on the case you've yet to do so. They are free to do. They help me out an absolute ton. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or ideas, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. I'm happy to get back to you on those. If you've got any negative comments, let me know about those as well. I'm always open to modifying things if I can make that possible for you, for whatever it is that you may not be liking. Let me know. I'm 100% open to that. Thanks to my members, as always. Cannot thank them enough for their continued support. I really, truly can't. I especially thank each and every single one of them for all of their continued support on the channel. It helps the channel out tremendously. I put every single dollar back into this channel, even if you don't notice it. I've mentioned that before. I really do. I've got Epidemic Sound contract that membership, say contracted. It kind of is. I pay it by yearly, but membership, whatever you want to call it. I've got Canva membership that I use for. I've got memberships for the editing software. There's all kinds of stuff that I'm using any of the small amount of money that I'm getting from them for. So I do appreciate each and every single one of you for helping support the channel and helping to continue to make my ability to make videos grow. I do all the editing. Nobody does it for me. I do everything. So I do thank each and every single one of them for their support. It really does mean a lot. And yeah, we'll leave it there. I've got to get these bales out of the chickens, but at this point, I think they're probably enjoying them. We'll take care of those probably in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for your support as always. I'll see you next time.